I went camping with my cousin Malik last month. We picked a quiet riverside spot about an hour from town. Nothing fancy, just a fire, a tent, and the sound of running water. By evening, everything felt perfect. Around 2 a.m., I woke up to Malik whispering my name. Not yelling, whispering sharply, like he didn't want something to hear him. "Get up," he said. "Don't make noise." I sat up, confused, until I noticed the shadows outside our tent. 2 of them, not moving, just standing there. At first, I thought they were other campers, but from the shadows, one of them was holding something that looked like a mattock, and the other stood like he was reading through a paper or something. Just then, one of them crouched, slowly, like they were trying to peek under the edge of the tent. Malik grabbed my wrist so tightly it hurt. We didn't say a word. The fire outside was already dying, so their faces were just silhouettes, but I could hear them breathing softly, like they were trying to listen through the fabric. Then one of them spoke. "Not this one." A second voice replied, "Check the bags." Malik and I locked eyes. We knew we couldn't stay in that tent. The zipper sounded like a gunshot when I pulled it open, and we immediately sprinted for the car without looking back. Branches slapped our faces, and the cold river air burned our lungs. When we reached the car, Malik dropped the keys. I swear I heard footsteps running behind us. We sped out so fast we left half our gear behind. In the morning, rangers told us nobody else had been registered camping there, but someone was definitely there. And they were looking for something, or someone else. I work night maintenance at a small apartment complex. It's mostly quiet work. Replace light bulbs, check the boilers, lock the laundry rooms. Simple stuff. One evening, the manager asked me to check a report from a tenant who said someone kept turning their doorknob at night. I figured it was kids messing around. Around 1 a.m., I went to the 3rd floor to check things out. The hallway was unusually silent. Most nights you hear TVs, footsteps, something. But that night, nothing, just still air and a faint buzzing from the exit sign. When I reached apartment 3B, the one that filed the complaint, I knelt down to inspect the lock. It looked normal. No scratches, no signs of tampering. I was about to stand up when I heard footsteps behind me, slow, heavy, coming from the far end of the hall. I turned. No one was there. I stood up quickly, suddenly feeling exposed. The hallway lights flickered, just once, and when they steadied, I noticed something I swear wasn't there a second earlier. A pair of shoes. Half hidden behind the corner. Not moving, not stepping out, just there. I started backing away, trying not to make noise, but the shoes shifted slightly, like someone was adjusting their stance. Then a hand appeared on the wall, thin, pale, gripping the corner like someone was deciding whether to reveal themselves. I didn't wait. I sprinted to the elevator, slammed the button, and didn't look back. When the doors closed, I finally exhaled. The camera footage the next morning showed something I can't explain. There were no shoes in that hallway. Maybe I was seeing things, or maybe not. I went camping last weekend to clear my head. Just me, my small tent, and a quiet patch of forest my coworker recommended. He said it was peaceful. He didn't mention anything about the nights. Around midnight, I woke up to footsteps. Not heavy ones, slow dragging ones moving around my tent. I froze. I thought it was an animal until I heard breathing, human breathing, close. I didn't say a word. I didn't even zip my sleeping bag open. I just listened as whoever it was circled my tent again and again, like they were deciding something. The fabric pressed inward at one point, like a hand was resting on it. Then the breathing stopped. I waited a full minute before I reached for my flashlight. I clicked it on and shined it through the thin fabric. Nothing. No shape, no shadow. I finally unzipped the tent, stepped out, and scanned the trees. Empty forest. But when I looked down at the dirt, I saw footprints. Bare footprints. They led right up to my tent, circled it, and then just stopped. Not leading away, not fading out. Just stopped in a single spot like something had made them vanish. I didn't bother packing. I grabbed the tent under my arm and power walked to my car without looking behind me. The next day at work, I told my coworker what happened. He stared at me, then he laughed and said, "You set up camp on his spot." I didn't ask who he was. I don't even want to know. I've always been a creature of habit. Same route home, same time, same playlist. Never really thought about it. One night I was halfway home when my GPS suddenly glitched. The map froze, spun around, and told me the road ahead was closed. It rerouted me down a side street I'd never taken before. I hesitated for a second, but I followed it anyway. It didn't feel like a big deal at first. The street I turned into was empty, completely empty. No houses with lights on, no cars parked outside. Just tall, overgrown trees on both sides, and a couple of flickering streetlights that made the whole place feel abandoned. That's when I noticed something. A van was sitting at the end of the block. Dark paint, old model, no plates on the front. Its interior lights were on, but I couldn't see anyone inside. It looked like someone was waiting for something. I kept driving, trying not to look at it again. But as soon as I passed the van, I heard an engine start behind me. I checked my mirror. The van was moving, following me. At first, I tried to convince myself it was a coincidence. Maybe the driver was heading in the same direction. But every time I sped up just a little, the van sped up too. Every time I slowed down, it slowed down too. No headlights, just a dark front grille looming behind me in the mirror. My chest felt tight. My palms were sweating so much I could barely keep my grip on the wheel. I tried to turn into what I thought was my neighborhood, but the GPS must have glitched again because I ended up on a street I didn't recognize. Then I saw what was ahead, construction barricades covering the entire road, dead end. Before I could react, the van pulled forward and stopped sideways behind me, blocking the exit. I almost shit my pants. The side doors opened and 3 people stepped out, hoodies pulled over their heads, flashlights in hand. One of them carried a crowbar like he'd been holding it the entire time, just waiting for the right moment. I locked my doors and grabbed my phone. No signal, no bars, nothing. They spread out, 2 on the sides and 1 behind the car. Their flashlights moved slowly across my windows, lighting up my dashboard, my hands, my face. Then one of them tapped on my window, just once, like he was testing how thick the glass was. I couldn't breathe. I kept thinking about all the smart choices I could have made. I could have driven to a gas station, a diner, anywhere with people. I could have called 911 the moment they started tailing me. But I froze. Panic does that. And then, for some reason I still don't understand, I turned off my headlights. The second the lights went out, they hesitated. That split second was all I had. I slammed the car into reverse, floored it, and smashed sideways into a construction barricade. The impact pushed me just far enough to angle the car around. I straightened the wheel and shot forward with everything I had. The van doors didn't close in time. They didn't even bother chasing me. I was already gone. I didn't slow down until I reached a main road filled with lights, real cars, and many people. When I checked my dashboard clock, it was 2:17 a.m. My speedometer was still touching 85. The next day, I checked the local news out of curiosity. Same street, same van description. A woman had been attacked inside her car in that same construction zone. I still take my usual route home, every night, same road, same turns, because part of me feels like if I change anything now, they'll know that I'm afraid. I work as a rideshare driver during the evenings. I like the peace of it, picking people up, dropping them off, listening to music. It gives me time to think. One evening, I got a request from a neighborhood I didn't normally drive through. The pickup point was a small cul-de-sac with no streetlights. I almost canceled it, but the customer's note said, "I really need this ride." So I went. When I pulled up, no one was outside. No porch lights, no doors opening, nothing. I waited a minute, then 2. I was about to mark it as a no-show when I saw movement near the trees. Someone stepped out. A woman, maybe mid-30s, holding a backpack tight to her chest. She walked fast, kept looking over her shoulder, and got in the back seat without saying a word. "Evening," I said. She didn't respond. She just whispered, "Please drive." I pulled out of the cul-de-sac, trying not to think too much. I've had anxious passengers before, but something about her silence felt different. She wasn't breathing normally. Her shoulders were shaking like she'd been running or crying. About 5 minutes into the ride, she finally spoke. "Do you see a black truck behind us?" I checked the mirror. A truck was behind us, driving without headlights. I couldn't see the plate, couldn't see the driver. Just a dark front grille hugging the road. "Has that been following you?" I asked. She didn't answer right away. She just said, "Please don't take me home, take me anywhere with people." Now my heartbeat was loud in my ears. I switched lanes. The truck switched lanes. I sped up slightly. The truck sped up. Every move we made, it mirrored. I turned into a gas station. Bright lights, cameras, people hanging around. The truck slowed down near the entrance, then kept going. The woman finally exhaled and covered her face with her hands. Before I could say anything, she whispered, "I thought I lost him earlier. I shouldn't have walked alone." I wanted to ask more, but when I looked at the mirror again, the truck was circling back toward the street. Slowly. No headlights. "I'm not getting out," she said. "Not yet." So we sat there together, doors locked, engine running, watching the truck crawl past like it was searching for something, or someone. The truck rolled past the gas station like it was scanning every car. I kept my eyes on the mirror, waiting to see brake lights or a turn signal. Anything, but it just kept moving until it disappeared behind the row of parked semis. The woman finally lowered her hands. Her voice was thin and shaking. "He started following me weeks ago," she said. "Different places, different days, always the same truck. I never see his face." I didn't know what to say. I wasn't trained for this. I was just a guy trying to make extra money on a Tuesday evening. "Do you want me to call the police?" I asked. She hesitated. "I tried once. They said I didn't have proof. They said maybe I was mistaken." She looked at me through the mirror, and I could tell she was desperate. "Can you just drive somewhere? Somewhere busy? I don't care where." So I pulled out of the gas station and headed toward the highway. She stayed low in the back seat, clutching her backpack like it had something important inside. I checked my mirrors every few seconds. No sign of the truck. After about 15 minutes, she finally spoke again. "You don't have to take me the whole way. Just drop me near the downtown station. I'll figure something out." I nodded and took the next exit. Downtown was always filled with taxis, officers, street vendors, plenty of eyes. It felt safer already. When I pulled up near the station, she reached for the door but paused. "You saved me tonight," she said quietly. "Thank you." She got out and hurried toward the entrance without looking back. I waited until she was inside before pulling away. A block later, I stopped at a red light. The street was busy enough to feel normal again. For a second, I thought the whole thing was done. Then I noticed a pair of headlights in my mirror. A black truck rolling slowly out of a side street. But the woman was nowhere near me anymore, which meant whoever was driving it hadn't been following her. They had been following my car. And they knew exactly what I looked like now.